Hello everyone and welcome to the first video in my series of seeing how fast we can beat Pokemon Scarlet and Violet using only a single Pokemon. The only rule for this challenge is that we can't use items to heal or remove status in battles, but held items are fine. Also, when we get to the Team Star bases and the double battle gym, we're going to be using either Magikarp or Azurill using only Splash, so they cannot do anything to help us, but we do need a Pokemon in our party to proceed past those parts. We're going to start this challenge off with Quaxly. And looking at Quaxly's base stat total, we can see we've got good attack, which our ability Moxie is going to make great use of, as well as having decent HP and speed. Quaxly's move pool isn't the best, but it isn't too bad either. Three of our most important moves we're going to get via level up. Those are Aqua Jet, Liquidation, and Acrobatics. Our final main move is from TMs, and that's going to be the Low Kick. After we beat Nemona and then lose the second battle, we can get through the tutorial, and we've got a time of 1 hour and 1 minute. Katie is our first gym leader. We arrive at level 14 with a time of 1 hour and 24 minutes. We make short work of Nimble using 2 aerial aces after taking a struggle book, before taking Tarantula down with a single aerial ace. Katie's final Pokemon, Teddiursa, terrestrializes into the bug type and just survives an aerial ace before hitting back with a powerful Fury Cutter before we finish it off. Next up, we take on Cloth, the Titan Pokemon, at level 17 with a time of 1 hour and 43 minutes. Aqua Jet doesn't do as much damage as I thought it would, so on the next turn we hit a low kick, bringing it down into anger point range, and we finish off the first stage with another Aqua Jet. With Arven and Shoulder joining us for the second stage of Cloth, I hit Terrasilize, and with a few Aqua Jets and Shoulder landing a Water Gun, we make short work of the Rock Titan Pokemon. Our next stop is Brassius, the Grass-type gym leader, and at level 22 with a playtime of 2 hours. We've got the type disadvantage in this fight, so I've had to go and level up a bit as his final Pokemon caused problems for me at lower levels. We start the battle off against Petlil, almost taking it out with a single aerial ace before it misses a sleep powder and we finish it off on the next turn. Brassius then sounds out Smoliv, which we do get the one-hit KO on before his final Pokemon Sudowoodo comes out. It terrestrializes and we do over half HP with our first hit, survive the Trailblaze, and we still outspeed on the next turn so we can finish it off with one more aerial ace. Bombardier is our next Titan Pokemon that we take on, and we've got a time of 2 hours and 20 minutes and at level 24. We now know Aqua Cutter, which is a strong physical water move, and it only takes us 2 hits to finish the first phase. We take a Rock Throw on the first hit, and then lose the speed tie and take a Pluck, leaving us on 9 HP. I didn't know this at the time, but you don't get the chance to heal up in between stages for this Titan. So on the second stage, Arven joins us with his Knackley. Luckily, Bombardier hits Knackley and we hit Terra Boosted Aqua Cutter for over half damage. Knackley goes for a Rock Polish, which doesn't help us, but we only get hit with a Torment before we get to finish off the Titan in our second move. Our first Team Starbase is Giacomo, and at level 31 with a playtime of 3 hours and 10 minutes, we've had to level up quite a bit at this point so we can beat the Starmobile, as they just do not die without it. Pawniard goes down to a quad effective low kick without doing anything before the Starmobile is sent out. Its ability Intimidate negates our Moxie boost from before, and even though we're 11 levels above it, we still get outsped. Luckily, it misses a Metal Sound, and low kick does about a quarter damage. On the next turn, it lands the Metal Sound, lowering our special defense, and we just keep hitting with low kicks. After a second Metal Sound, it misses a Snarl, and we leave it with just a sliver of HP before finishing the battle off with Aqua Jet. Kofu, the Water-type gym leader, is up next, and we've been leveling up quite a bit, so we're at level 41 now with a playtime of 4 hours and 12 minutes. We are still outsped by Veluza, but it goes down to 2 acrobatics, and with our Moxie Boots, we can take Wugtrio out on the next turn after surviving a headbutt. Kofu sends out his Ace Crabominable next, which terrors to the water type, survives acrobatics, and hits us with a slam that does good damage before falling to our final acrobatics. Straight after Kofu, we go down to Miller and the Fire Team Starbase. We're still at level 41 and a playtime of 4 hours and 21 minutes. Torkoal's her first Pokemon out, which sets up the sun with its ability drought. Even Terrestrialize, we only hit for about half of Torkoal's HP, finishing it off on the second turn before the Fire-type Starmobile comes out. We're outsped, but Blazing Torque does minimal damage, and Liquidation does about a third. They miss a Screech as we go for Liquidation again, and then we get the burnt from Blazing Torque, but I had a berry ready just in case, as this wasn't my first attempt trying this. We just missed out on the KO before finishing things off with an Aqua Jet. Iono, the electric gym leader, is next, and at level 42 and with a game time of 4 hours and 40 minutes. At this point, we are very over leveled for Iono, but she did have the type advantage with the electric type. So we use our Terra, outspeed, and hit liquidation on everything, getting a Moxie boost each time, ensuring that we knock everything out in one hit, which has been my strategy for a lot of these fights now and has been made easier when Pokemon trainers have more Pokemon. Orthworm, the Steel Titan Pokemon, is next on our list, so we head straight there from Iono. We're still at level 42 and with a playtime of 4 hours and 49 minutes. Low Kick finishes it off in 2 hits for the first stage, and on the second stage, Ovan's Toedskull takes a wrap and hits a Grass Knot, and Orthworm goes down to our second Low Kick without any issues. Iron Treads, the Quaking Earth Pokemon, was next, and at level 44 with a playtime of 5 hours and 3 minutes. We were able to consistently beat the first stage of Iron Treads without any issues, even though we would take quite a bit of damage. For the second stage, it was more dependent on whether we were solely targeted or not. Luckily, on this attempt, after surviving a resisted Iron Head, we do manage to beat Iron Treads and progress onwards. We head over next to everyone's favourite gym leader, Larry, coming straight from defeating the Quaking Earth Titan without levelling up, so we're still at level 45 with a playtime of 5 hours and 16 minutes. Larry's lead, Kamala, hits us with a yawn, which we had a Peachy Berry equipped for. Then Larry sends out the Dunsparce, which hits us with Glare, which causes paralysis. And I did think about resetting here, but decided to play it out and see how much further we could get. Aquajet finishes off the Dunsparce and Larry sends out Staraptor, which terrestrializes to the normal type. We take a nasty facade from it, but luckily we don't get hit by paralysis and hit liquidation. After that, we break through paralysis once again to hit an Aquajet, finishing off Larry's final Pokemon. I do think we had a little bit of luck here, but previous attempts had showed that the Dunsparce would go for Drill Run and we would survive and claim victory still. Our 6th gym leader is Rhyme, the Ghost type specialist, and after testing a few times to see if we needed to change our Terra type to normal type or not, we realised that by gaining a couple of levels we would be able to win. So at a level of 48, with a playtime of 5 hours and 47 minutes, we go into battle. Rhyme and her gym challenge are the only mandatory double battles in the game, so we have Azurill with us, and you can see it's leveled up a bit and learned a few moves, but we ignore those and just use Splash before Azurill dies. On our Rhyme's first turn, she does target Quaxly with both moves, but we terrestrialize and get an Omniboost from the audience before taking down her Pokemon one at a time, leaving Mimikyu to last, who wastes its final turn setting up a light screen against us as we take it out. We're back over with Team Star now and Atticus, the Poison type leader. We're at level 49 with a playtime of 6 hours and 3 minutes. And at this point, you know our strategy already by now. It's to Terra and spam liquidation until we win. The Starmobile does manage to get poison off on us, but at this point we only need one more attack against it for our victory. Tulip was the gym leader that gave me the most problems personally. I did try Grusha as well in between, but found they both needed to be around the same level, so I ended up taking care of Tulip first. We're at level 58 with a playtime of 6 hours and 40 minutes. Grusha's Pokemon were outspeeding me before this, causing me to wipe as they were fully evolved and had powerful attacks, and we are still a first stage Pokemon. Ferregarif is bulky enough that it survives liquidation and goes down in 2 turns. We now outspeed Gardevoir, which was good for me as it had Energy Ball before and would one-hit me each time. Esparfra outspeeds us and drops us to low health, but it gets taken out by liquidation afterwards, and we outspeed Florges and take that out with liquidation as well. After we beat Tulip, we fly straight over to Grusha, the final gym leader. We're at a playtime of 6 hours and 44 minutes and level 59. We outspeed Frostmoth and take that down with an acrobatics before taking down Beartic and Titan with low kick. Grisha's final Pokemon is Arteria, comes out and terrestrializes to the Ice type, and we take that down in one hit, meaning that we've now beaten all 8 of the gyms and can head over to Victory Road for the Elite Four when we're ready to. Before taking the Elite Four on, I decide to finish off the rest of the stuff we have to do. So we head over to Tatsugiri next, as it's the final Titan that we need to beat, and it caused a lot of problems. Getting past the Donzo's first 2 stages with low kick was easy enough, but Tatsugiri itself was very difficult to defeat, and only acrobatics would do any actual damage to it. So we got to level 65 with a playtime of 7 hours and 22 minutes before we went and beat the Sushi Dragon, just by spamming acrobatics until we won. Ortega was next for us, the Fairy type Team Star leader, and we've leveled up again to level 72, now with a playtime of exactly 8 hours. Ortega's Pokemon are bulky, which meant they would survive hits at lower levels, causing us to take too much damage and not be able to beat the Team Star Mobile, no matter how often I tried. So with this, once the Azumarill goes down, the rest of Ortega's Pokemon go down with ease, and we manage to beat the Team Star Mobile, giving us victory. Eri is our final Team Star boss and our final fight before we can do the conclusion to each of the 3 story paths of this game so far. We're at level 76 and we're playtime of 8 hours and 32 minutes. Eri had the opposite problem to Ortega, where a lot of her Pokemon would outspeed me and just one-shot me, or I'd survive one hit and get taken out on the next turn. So we did have to level up more. Acrobatics takes care of a lot of her team now, and we can OHKO everything apart from the Lucario with it, which we Terra Liquidation and take it down. The Starmobile comes out and it wastes its only turn using Shift Gear before we take it out with Acrobatics as well. Our next battle ends off the Path of Legends by beating Arven. Unfortunately, we are quite leveled at this point. We are at level 83 and a time of 9 hours and 20 minutes. Not because I needed it for Arven, but because I'd forgotten about this fight and I'd been leveling in increments to try and get past Hassel of the Elite Four, as his dragons completely walled me. I could get past the others straight after beating Eri, but Noivern would always outspeed me, and then Dragalagi would outspeed and hit with Thunderbolt, which would always end up killing me. So when we come to Arven, we don't have any real challenge here. I had tried Clavel in between, but Meowscarada had also hard-walled me with Flower Trick, as it always outsped. Arven goes down and tells us that we need to go and get 2 other people to explore Area Zero with after a request from his father. We go into the Elite Four for the final time at level 87 with a time of 9 hours and 53 minutes. Rika's team falls to Terra Liquidations apart from the Clodsire, who has Water Absorb and falls to a single low kick. Poppy's team falls mainly to super effective low kicks, apart from Magnezone, who survives with Sturdy and always sets up the light screen, and Corviknight, who falls to a liquidation. I didn't Terra in this fight or the next fight, as if I couldn't beat Hassel now, I was going to change my Terra to normal type to be able to survive against the dragons. Larry managed to get us to just under half his health, but we took him down without any problems. And our final challenge of Hassel was upon us. Noivern always outspeeds and goes for Super Fang turn 1, and I tried to see if I could finish it off with an Aqua Jet afterwards, but we just miss out on taking it out. We take a Dragon Pulse after and survive on 54 HP. After this, we are finally able to outspeed Dragalagi and take it out in one hit, before proceeding to take out Flapple, Haxorus and Baxcalibur in one hit respectively, allowing us finally to go against Champion Geeta. Geeta's team was very easy to beat, apart from a Spathra, which did outspeed us and land a Lumina Crash. We one-shot everything else. We finished the Spathra off with an Aqua Jet, took out Go-Goat with Acrobatics, took out Avalugg with low kick, took out King Gambit with low kick, surprisingly outsped Veluza and took that out with acrobatics before taking out Limora with liquidation after it terrored to the rock type. I think up until this point, Hassel has been the most difficult fight, and I think if we'd have had access to an ice or fairy type move for the dragons, we could have been here a lot earlier, which would have made this more of a challenge. Unfortunately, that's not the way it went, so we're stuck with this. After we became a champion, I went and finished off the victory road path by battling Nimona. Before we went to beat her, we had to go change our terror type, as I had tried a few times before this, and Pormo would always take me out with double shot, even from maximum HP. So at level 89, with an in-game time of 10 hours and 23 minutes, we go against Nimona, survive double shot from Pormo thanks to the normal terror type, and take out the rest of her team without any issues. For finishing off the Starfall path, we have to beat Director Clavel, who honestly wasn't much of an issue. I'd already managed to get to Meowscarada several times before. All it took was make sure I had Terra Normal to survive the crit flower trick and taking it out with an acrobatics. There was no other difficulty to that challenge. Our final fight before going to Area 0 was, of course, Penny and the end of the Starfall storyline. We're at level 90 with an in-game time of 10 hours and 40 minutes. There's not really a lot to say about this fight. She uses a full team of evolutions, and we have Terra Normal, so she has nothing super effective against us, and we can take her out very easily and very effectively before we get to finally go to Area 0. We finally made it to the final fight of the game against Professor Toro. We're now at level 96 and have an in-game time of 12 hours and 4 minutes. The biggest hurdle for this fight so far has been Iron Hands. Iron Moth is fragile enough that it goes down in a single Aqua Jet, allowing us to be at full HP when Iron Hands comes out. We Terra Normal to bait the Thunder Punch into us and survive it, and take Iron Hands out on the second turn. We don't have any other issues until Iron Valiant comes out, but luckily, thanks to leftovers, we are now back up to full HP and are able to survive a Brick Break with 39 HP and take Iron Valiant out. And with that, we've beaten the game using only a Quaxly in each of the battles. The end credits have rolled for me, and we've got a final time of 12 hours and 26 minutes, which is longer than I thought it would be, but is a good benchmark for the other starters to see how they compare. I'm expecting Sprigatito to be quicker, with it having the protein ability and able to change its type at the start of each battle because of it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and if you have any Pokemon you'd like to see me do this challenge with, leave a comment, let me know. Thank you to everyone who's watched this to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.